So I got a message not too long ago, and I was actually going to respond to this message, but I decided to share this message with you guys because I feel like while I could simply just answer this one person, maybe several other families or individuals out there could benefit from this information. So I just wanted to share this with you guys. Been getting a lot of different messages concerning their finances, the economy, job market, inflation, their income, Social Security, SSI, SSDI, unemployment benefits, what's going on with this whole railroad worker strike, where are we headed in terms of gas prices, what's going on with Russia, Ukraine, how is that going to affect us here? Are we going to go into World War III? Been getting a lot of questions, lots of people concerned about their jobs, layoffs, and coincidentally, a lot of people have been strongly considering different additional streams of income, taking on second jobs, part-time jobs, a second full-time job, even side hustles and starting their own businesses and starting to invest as the stock market seems to be rebounding a little bit. And a lot of people kind of want to start generating some passive income and getting their investment portfolios going by investing in the stock market. But I got an email, and the email was, the guy was clearly down. So basically, I don't have the email up in front of me, but I'm going to paraphrase. He essentially divorced not too long ago. And when he and his wife split up, they sold the property that they were living in, and they had just bought the house. So basically, they didn't make money. They didn't lose any money, but he didn't have anywhere to stay. So this guy, he coincidentally lost his job just prior to the divorce, and he decided to move in with some close friends. So he's been living with these close friends for a little while, and he's at a point right now where he has no job, he has no place to live, and he has no money, and he's trying to figure out, well, what do I do now? So basically, he's saying he doesn't have any skills, he doesn't have any, he doesn't have a degree, he doesn't have any high income abilities, so he thinks. So after going back and forth with this guy about what he's been doing previously, we ended up looking at his previous work history, and I was asking him, I was like, hey, what were you doing previously? And he was telling me what he does. I'm like, wow, dude, there are so many different opportunities available to you. And then when I started actually pointing them out, I could clearly see that he was feeling his spirits lifted. And, he was a lot more confident on the call toward the middle of the phone call than he was when we first started. And I just want to let you guys know, if you've been divorced, if you've lost your job, if you, got arrested or anything like that. I mean, I want you guys to remember these are circumstances that happen to people, but these are not circumstances that define you. So, if you've been divorced, you're not a divorced person. You're just some dude that got divorced. You're a woman who got divorced. If you file bankruptcy, the bankruptcy is not you. You are a person who happened to file bankruptcy. If you were, maybe even a felon, some people got twisted up in some problems or whatever. You're not a felon. You may have a felony on your record, but you are a person who has happened to have had this in your past. But basically, I don't want people to allow these circumstances to define them, because once you do, then you're limiting yourself in terms of what you're capable of going forward. And I've met so many people, and I've had, rough history, but, I've met so many people in the past that have had really rough points in their lives that have had tremendous comeback stories. And none of these things would have happened. None of these people would have started very successful, profitable businesses. None of these people would have created huge charities that helped millions and millions of people. None of these people would have built these online business schools that taught other people how to create businesses and learn other valuable skills so that these other people could land high-paying jobs if they allow these past moments to define them. So I just wanted to share this message with you guys. This was actually a message that I received on the Patreon group. A lot of you guys have been joining the group, and I appreciate you guys, coming in and asking questions and trying to, create a plan for yourselves. And I strongly encourage anyone who's looking to do the same. We talk a lot about passive income ideas, creating side hustles, getting your YouTube channels started so that you can start generating income. And so basically that's what we're talking about over there. And this is one of the questions that I got. And so rather than just simply answering the question, I decided to share this information with you guys. More and more families, with the whole recession and inflation situation, more and more families they're applying for types of government assistance benefits that they never thought that they would need to apply for in the past, such as Social Security, SSI. Different circumstances have led people to have to apply for these types of benefits. And then some people are of age to qualify for them. So you got Social Security, you've got SSI, you've got SSDI, but you've also got SNAP and EBT benefits, PEBT benefits, which I've been doing my best to keep you guys up to date with the different types of allotments that are available per state. And so there's that has been going on. But a lot of not really members asking this question, but a lot of people in the previous comments of previous videos have been asking about the whole railroad strike situation going on and how are we going to be impacted. And this is an interesting one because this is the type of situation where the Fed just can't come in and, the government can't just step in and provide stimulus checks to everyone and this will fix the situation. So stimulus checks won't fix a railroad strike situation. Unemployment benefits could help those who will very likely lose their jobs because if you think about it, what's probably going to happen is there's a few different scenarios. So let's just say Congress negotiates these deals and they avert the strike and nothing happens. Well, this whole conversation is a moot point. However, it's a little bit interesting what's happening here. So the latest update that we have is that Congress essentially intervened and they have essentially blocked the employees from being able to strike. And this rubs me the wrong way. It's almost like you're saying to the employees, screw you. You're not going to be allowed to strike. We don't want you to have reasonable benefits. I mean, some of these employees, all they wanted was more sick time. And I don't know how many of you guys are following this situation here, but a lot of these employees, they're working 27 days in a month. I mean, they have minimal time off, constantly on the job. And the thing is here, I don't even know how much a train weighs, but just think about a train barreling down the trainway or down the train tracks, and you've got a overworked conductor falling asleep. I mean, just think about the detriment that this could have, right? And we've seen train wrecks in the past, and they're nothing to sneeze at. These are huge, right? But look at the impact that this could potentially have on businesses, on companies. Think about the hazardous materials that these trains haul. Think about the impact that a railroad train strike from the likes of impacting the types of railroad companies such as BNSF, impacting companies such as Amtrak. I know Amtrak is a commuter type of railway, but they would still be potentially impacted. You've got Union Pacific trains, you've got Norfolk Southern. So there's a number of different large S&P 500s, Fortune 500 companies that would ultimately be directly affected by these railroad strikes. But then you've also got thousands of different companies that would likely be affected by a railroad strike. So just think about it. So you got a business and your business depends on products and customers, materials. And let's just say that this railroad strike, once it happens, if it happens, materials are no longer delivered. So you're not able to receive, as a business owner, you're not able to receive your materials to finish building whatever products you manufacture. So now you already know that sales are going to be impacted because you know that the materials you need you can't get because the railroad systems are shut down. They're on strike. So if there is a railroad strike, businesses will not receive the materials that they need, or at least not at the quantities and at the regular intervals that they would expect them. So sales are going to be impacted. So if sales are impacted, what's going to happen? First of all, the company is going to likely look to try to cut costs from somewhere because whatever inventory they have, they realize it's going to run out and they may not be able to replenish it because of the railroad strike. So first, there's likely to be some more job losses beyond the layoffs and job losses that we're already hearing to be, expected from Fed Chair Jerome Powell. We've heard the Federal Reserve's numerous warnings. So there could be very likely additional job losses as a result of that. Then you have the situation of, well, if you're a business that creates products that exports your products using the railroad systems, now you may not be able to export your products. You might not be able to export your goods. So the bottom line is if a railroad strike occurs, this is going to have a tremendous impact on the supply chain, first and foremost. And you would be surprised how many different companies and businesses that will ultimately be affected by a railroad strike. And the funny thing is I could literally make a list of all these different businesses and companies that would be directly affected by a railroad strike, but there's always going to be something you didn't even think about. And what will happen is once the railroad strike occurs, and let's just say a few days goes by, a week goes by, all of a sudden it's like, oh, wow, I didn't even realize that my job was tied to this, or I didn't even realize that my business was tied to this. I didn't realize how much day-to-day things that we purchase each and every single day depend on this. I mean, heck, many of the hazardous materials that are hauled with through the railroad system, they help to purify our water, our drinking water. So this is going to have a tremendous impact if this is not resolved. Now, the scary thing is, if I remember correctly, President Biden, when he was campaigning, he was saying how much of a union support person, or how much he supported the unions. And it's like, where's the support now that you're in office? Like, whatever happened to that? Like, what happened to that promise that you'd be looking out for the union workers? Because I don't see a whole heck of a lot of support for the union railroad workers that are being, what's the term? That are being told that they cannot strike. In fact, striking is illegal according to this agreement that's in place right now. So now at the same time, I don't think that this means that you can't quit, meaning like, okay, if you quit your job, you're going to jail. I don't think it means anything like that. But they're saying that these workers are not going to be permitted to go on strike. So I think that that's a huge problem. But this kind of goes again back to what we were talking about in previous videos, the importance of diversifying your income and having multiple streams of income, having an investment portfolio, having additional streams of income outside of your primary job. So if you're if you are working for a railroad company and your job were to suddenly be wiped out, imagine you had a side hustle that was generating 50% of your income. Well, now it's not that much of a big deal. It still sucks, but you would at least have that backup. You'd have that additional stream of income that would help you to make a decision that would be better for your family out of choice versus out of desperation. And unfortunately, a lot of these railroad workers, they're going to find themselves in a pinch. And unfortunately, millions of Americans will likely also find themselves in a pinch. And this brings up this other question that I received not too long ago. A woman, it was a single woman with 3 kids, and she was asking how she could potentially prepare for increased rents in her area. And we went back and forth through some communication. Long and short of it, the entrepreneur, real estate investor that she's renting the house from is a single family residence that she's renting, as opposed to an apartment rental. So she's renting a house, and she was asking how she can prepare. So of course, increase your savings, reduce your expenses, see if you can increase your income, and we went into additional details. But then, about a week or so later, a curveball kind of hit her. And she ended up saying that, she was worried about how much more expensive the rent rate was going to be in her area. Specifically, the property that she was renting, she was concerned about how much more it was going to go up, because she realized that the property she was renting in was undervalued, meaning that she was getting a really good deal on how much she was paying per rent to the real estate investor that she was renting the property from. And she knew that many people in her neighborhood were renting also, and they were paying a lot more. So anyway, long and short of it is, she ended up getting a letter from the landlord saying that they're selling the property. And this is something that she wasn't prepared to receive. She knew that her rent was likely going to be going up, but this real estate property owner ended up telling her that this property is no longer available for her to rent. So basically, once her lease was up, she has to leave. And this could potentially hit more and more Americans. And so the reality is that your ability to continue to rent may actually be taken away. And this is coming at a very scary time when Fed Chair Jerome Powell is raising interest rates, making housing more unaffordable. Many people are struggling to get approved for Section 8 benefits. Many people are struggling to find real estate investors that have rental properties available for Section 8 or willing to take Section 8. So there's that piece to it. And then many people are just struggling with the fact that rent rates are increasing at such a rapid pace. And I think that the pace of the rent increase has slowed down. It's certainly slowed down in my opinion, but it hasn't retracted. And the scary part is that as more and more potential home buyers are not able to qualify for the amount of mortgages that they need to purchase the homes that they were looking at, more of those potential home buyers are staying renters. So this is keeping people renting properties longer than they had anticipated. And one of the biggest problems that I'm predicting is going to happen is that as more and more home buyers are not able to buy homes either by choice or by, the banks just not approving them for mortgages due to, credit issues or debt to income ratios not being able to support this higher mortgage payment because the Federal Reserve's interest rates have made the mortgage payment more expensive. These people are going to stay renters. So what does this do to the rental market? Well, it's going to make the rental market demand higher and higher, making rents more and more expensive because there's only so many rental properties available. If people aren't moving out of these rental properties and into homes that they own, then that means that the demand for rental properties is exceeding the availability of vacant rental properties. So all this means is that it's going to be more and more expensive for renters. And, the Fed, in their infinite wisdom, is raising interest rates, and one of the goals was to make housing more affordable. Now, will housing be more affordable in, say, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years? Possibly. But in the interim, what are people supposed to be doing right now? So I strongly encourage you guys to take this opportunity to get ahead of the curve, eliminate high interest credit card debt, any type of high interest debt. If you can, look at refinancing debt. I've shared some I've shared some 0% interest credit card offers in previous videos. Let me know if you guys need access to the links for those. If not, definitely scroll through my previous videos and check those videos out so that you can reduce how much interest you're paying and get out of debt faster. And I'm sharing more and more income producing opportunities, side hustles, small business opportunities. If you're looking to start a small business, if you're looking to increase your household income, looking to increase your net worth through starting a side hustle, definitely join me in the family over on the Patreon group. I'm going to continue to share information for those who want to get going, who want to create YouTube channels and generate money from YouTube. Basically, if you've got a smartphone, if you've got a laptop, if you've got access to internet, we're helping people get the knowledge that they need to be able to start generating some income. So anyway, I just wanted to offer a little bit of information, a little bit of quick update for you guys, and also a glimmer of hope that things can be better. Things can can be better for you. And regardless of whatever happened in your past, your future can always be as bright as you want it to be. So drop me some comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a like for the video if you made it this far. Consider subscribing to the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Be safe.